Our first contact with this Australian band was positive. They were introduced to us as an opera rock band, and that led us to think of a symphonic and bombastic approach, which turns out not to be what we have here. And that's a good thing. It's nice to be surprised. We have some symphonic elements, we have some operatic voices, but those are not the elements that define what we have. And what we have is a powerful heavy metal, melodic and bombastic, but beyond the gimmick of opera rock. It's the songs that manage to conquer us, being this self-titled work a perfect way to introduce us to the band's sound.
I have to confess, the beatdown, subgenre of hardcore, never captivated me much. Largely due to the constant repetition of the same solutions and exploration of a formula that ends up becoming uninteresting due to the lack of innovation. And then I have been surprised by bands that end up being able to subvert this trend in an extremely interesting way. Like Jesus Piece. So Unknown is only 28 minutes long and comes with the perfect time for this album to become a reference for those who don't see the genre in the best way. Of course, we have here the formula and elements we talked about above, but they appear in a refreshing way, countering weight with dissonant ambiances as in Silver Lining, or simply bringing a refreshing variety to their sound, having some winks also to post-hardcore. The band's second album manages to present itself as a novelty that fans of hardcore beatdown, and maybe even other genres, won't be able to resist.
AOR is not one of the easiest styles to modernize, but Frontiers has proven year after year, release after release, how modern production, good musicians, can make proposals appetizing even today. Everlasting is the return of Joe Vanna's Mecca with an especially inspired album. Melodic rock that has a great impact for those who like AOR. And let's face it, even if you don't like it, considering the garbage on the radio these days, how can anyone not like these timeless melodies? An inspired comeback.
The question, what do you want in life, is not always easy to answer. When we think we want something and it is presented to us, we find ourselves asking for the opposite. This is because despite being big critics of metalcore as a musical genre and its lack of ideas that sound refreshing to us, when we received this third album by Canadians Arrival of Autumn, which presents the same commonplaces that we have often rebelled against in the past, the impact is extremely positive. Kingdom Undone puts us at that starting point of the style where we can forget all the derivative proposals we had in the past. As if we were a white sheet, ready to be written for the first time. Melody, heaviness, metallic with solos and everything you have the right to, and really impactful songs, that's what is offered to us. And we gladly accept it in what promises to be one of the great metalcore albums of the year.
Lion are one of the most nostalgic bands of melodic hard rock, and Mike Tramp, their eternal frontman, one of the most respected musicians in the scene. After his past with the band, both the first phase and the reactivation already in the present millennium, Mike Tramp now decides to take the greatest classics of the White Lion and re-record them, adjusting them to a more modern and current sound, without distorting their essence, and also to his vocal abilities. The result is appealing to Tramp and White Lion fans, even if it doesn't manage to capture new ones, but we don't think that's the point either.
Second album for this project that brings together some of the most sonorous musicians of the world heavy metal scene, being the unmistakable Zach Stevens at the head, with the musical part being, very well, delivered to Alessandro Del Vecchio, from Edge of Forever among many other projects, Nick Massiconi, from Labyrinth and also in Edge of Forever, Marco Lazzarini, from Secret Sphere, and Aldo Lonobile, from Ring of Fire and also in Secret Sphere and Edge of Forever. It's powerful, contemporary heavy metal that doesn't try to stick to any particular trend. And sometimes that's refreshing too. Just doing what you know how to do well. Which makes this an album you easily go back to when you appreciate good riffs, good songs and arrangements, a great rhythmic bass and a striking voice.
Nothing gives us more pleasure than to be here in our little corner at the bottom of Europe and receive music from all corners of the world and put in us the confidence to listen to it. The most recent example is Hibernaut, a band from Utah, which offers us a fantastic mix of stoner and doom metal with some psychedelic tinges, and that even makes it hard to believe that it is a band that is releasing its first album. An album that is also ambitious for presenting itself with almost 75 minutes of music, where not all moments are at the same level, we must admit. However, if we were to take out a song or two, it would be complicated to decide which ones would be sacrificed. So even though it is an album that suffers from excess fat, the final balance is extraordinarily positive.
How to talk about a funeral doom metal album that has only one song that is about 83 minutes long? It's not a disturbing question like how to listen to a funeral doom metal album that has only one song of about 83 minutes, but it's close. Bell, which had already left us completely fascinated with Mirror Reaper, composed of only 2 songs and also totaling, curiously, 83 minutes. There's no break in the music, and we know how difficult it will be to absorb just one song so long, yet you don't have the same usual state of mind when you set out to listen to this album. It's like a journey that messes with your emotions and your own limits. And despite its excellence, it's not something you can listen to every day. First, because it must be a journey to be started and completed without interruption. Secondly, because after its completion there is a depletion, a void of energy that requires a recovery. This may be a journey that few will want to embark on, but it is undoubtedly a journey as beautiful as it is sad.